हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू अनदर लाइव स्ट्रीम वीडियो। तो आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग होने वाला है, क्योंकि आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम में विल सी हाउ वी कैन मेक अ पोस्ट रिक्वेस्ट इन रिएक्ट। तो वी विल डिस्कस थ्री वे इसका यूज़ करके हम अपने रिएक्ट एप्लीकेशन में पोस्ट मैसेज को ट्रिगर कर सकते हैं। Now, what are the three ways? Like we'll see how we can make a post request by using fetch or by using Axios, and also we'll see how we can let's optimize our API call by using React Query. Okay, so I think आज का वीडियो बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग होगा एंड आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को भी मिलेगा। तो नाउ वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं, लाइव स्ट्रीम को शुरू करते हैं विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी टाइम। So first of all, what I want to create a form. Okay, here I want to create a form into our let's say here you can see मैंने ऑलरेडी एक कोड सैंडबॉक्स को ओपन करके रखा है। okay. तो इस अपने कोड सैंडबॉक्स में हम एक फाइल क्रिएट करेंगे, जैसे विल क्रिएट अ प्रोडक्ट फॉर्म कि जिसको फिल करने के बाद सबमिट करने पर हम पोस्ट मेथड को ट्रिगर करेंगे। एंड ऑब्वियसली we need an API also. So let's first of all let's grab the API. API के लिए हम गूगल पर सर्च करेंगे फेक स्टोर API. Like you can see here, it's a fake store REST API for your e-commerce or shopping website prototype. Okay, so here just pay attention on this word prototype. Prototype means it's not an actual API, but it's let's say dummy API which you can use to enhance your skill or in your development purpose. Like let's suppose कि आप कोई एक e-commerce वेबसाइट बना रहे हैं और उसके लिए आपको API की ज़रूरत होगी टेस्ट करने के लिए, और आपका API अभी डेवलप नहीं है, तो आप गूगल पर सर्च कर सकते हैं फेक स्टोर API और वहाँ से इस API को यूज करके अपने एप्लीकेशन को टेस्ट कर सकते हैं। आई होप यू आर गेटिंग माई पॉइंट। ओके, तो नाउ लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। सबसे पहले हम फेक स्टोर API के वेबसाइट पे जाते हैं और वहाँ से हम रीड डॉक्स को क्लिक करते हैं। नाउ इट विल नेविगेट मी टू द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पेज, जहाँ पर आप उनके सभी एंड्स पॉइंट को देख सकते हैं कि व्हाट आर द मेथड दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग। ओके, और हम अपने हिसाब से उस मेथड को यूज कर सकते हैं। इट्स कम्प्लीटली फ्री ऑफ कोर्स। So what for this live stream, okay, we have target, so let's say to show like how we can make a post request into React. So for that we'll select post method, let's say add new product. Now what we'll do, हम एक न्यू प्रोडक्ट का फॉर्म क्रिएट करेंगे अपने UI पर, and then we'll submit we'll fill that product information and submit. Okay, and then we'll raise a post request. So for that हम select करते हैं add new product endpoint. Here you can see all the details at the right side. Okay, the method is post and the endpoint is products. If you click on it, you can see the full URL of the API. Okay, just click on it and copy it. And below you can see the request sample कि आपको रिक्वेस्ट कैसे सेंड करना है। तो हियर यू कैन सी इन द हेडर we need to provide content type as application/json, and this type of payload we can send. Okay, now we can send to this API as id, so whatever id we want we can send it. Title, string we can say, price we can send, description, category or image. Okay, so here you can see the payload structure. Okay, so now हमने ऑलरेडी API URL को कॉपी कर लिया है। Now what we'll do, I will go to our this code editor. Okay, here first of all what I will do, I will create a form component. For that I will name it product form.js. Okay, so now let's quickly create a component first. Import React from React. then const product form. Okay, it will be an arrow function like this, which will return some JSX code. So as I have already copied the JSX code, okay, I will just paste it here. Let's minimize this sidebar. Okay, so here you can see it's my JSX code. I will explain you, don't worry. And also let's paste our style. Okay, and now let's save it. Let's export. Let's export default this component. So export default product form. Okay. So as you can see, our form has been created. Form जो है हमने अपना create कर लिया है. Okay. It's pretty simple. Okay. Like here you can see हमने एक form component का use किया है. Okay, form component, and then inside form component there is an heading s2 tag, and then there is two input field, one for let's say enter product title and one for enter price. Okay, then we have a submit button. Okay, and here we have defined all the style. Okay, this is style part of element. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Let's just call this product form component from our app file. Okay, so here we will call our product form. Okay, so now here you can see at the top right side we have product title, product price, and okay, and then submit button. So these are our form. Okay, so here we can enter our let's say new product title, whatever product we want to enter, and here we can add the price as well. Okay, then we can click on this submit button. Okay, to submit this price. Okay, we'll change this. Okay, so now let's go to our product form. Okay, here we'll change the type to number to text. Okay. Now let's quickly handle this let's say change event. So now what will we want? We want to let's say okay. So now let's handle this on change event for this element. Now what we want to handle this, let's say whatever let's say thing we are writing in this input field, the product title or product price, we want to let's say handle by using state variable. Okay, then we need to send those information to the API. Okay, so for that we create a form state. Okay, so form data set the form data will be a use state. Okay, so initial में हम इसका value provide करते हैं. Let's say title will be empty string, and then price will be empty. Okay, now let's pass this as a value here. So value will be form data title, and for price के लिए value होगा value equal to for data dot value, not value the price है. So okay, so we have handled our value. Now let's write the on change event handler function. So for that we'll create a let's say function called handle change. Okay, और यह function एक event as a argument. Okay, हम इसमें एक event as a argument pass करेंगे. Now from this event and target. From this event we will go to target, the target key, okay, event dot target, and then from event dot target we will destructure some property. Property will be name and value. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll set our form data. Okay, so for that we'll use set form data like this. Here first we'll spread our form data. Okay, then we'll pass a new form data like this. Name will be value. Let's save it. Okay, so now I think we okay, now here we need to just pass our on change event. So on change it will be handle change. Okay, now here if you write anything we are able to write. Okay, और यहाँ पर हम प्राइस भी सेट कर सकते हैं. Now here we need to handle our submit button functionality. Now as you can see here, जैसे मैंने submit button पर क्लिक किया अपना फॉर्म क्या हुआ, reload हुआ है. So we need to handle those scenario. Okay, so now what we want here, first we'll create a variable called each loading, set each loading, it will be equal to use state. Okay, initial value will be false. Okay. And then we need to create two more state. Okay, here state of each loading, it will be is success. Okay, and instead of each loading again it will be each error. Okay, now since हम अपने जैसे फॉर्म डाटा पर क्लिक करने पर हम एक API कॉल करेंगे और API और यू कैन सी कंसिडर इट विल बी अ प्रॉमिस, लाइक हम एक पेज मेथड का यूज करेंगे जो हमें ऑलवेज प्रॉमिस रिटर्न करता है. और प्रॉमिस का तीन जो होता है स्टेट होते हैं जो आप पता होगा. फर्स्ट होता है पेंडिंग स्टेट, सेकंड रिजॉल्व एंड रिजेक्ट. ओके, तो वैसे पेंडिंग स्टेट में जब भी हमारा प्रॉमिस पेंडिंग स्टेट में होगा वी विल कीप इट आवर एज लोडिंग ट्रू, जिससे कि हम यूजर को नेक्स्ट फॉर्म सबमिट करने से प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. ओके, और हम कुछ एक इंडिकेटर यूजर को शो कर सकते हैं कि आपका API कॉल हो रहा है, लेट मीन आपका जो प्रोडक्ट है वो सबमिट हो रहा है. तो फॉर दैट विल यूज इज लोडिंग and each success or each failure sorry each error will use either if हमें वैसे सक्सेस रिस्पॉन्स मिल रहा है API से, तो फॉर दैट केस विल यूज तो इज सक्सेस. और यदि हमें कोई जैसे API कॉल करते वक्त कुछ एरर आ गया तो उसके लिए हम इस एरर स्टेट का यूज करेंगे. एंड हाउ विल यूज आफ्टर दिस बटन we will create an let's say condition. Here we'll write if is success is true, okay, like this, then we'll throw a p tag. Okay, like this, and here we'll just give a class name, let's say style. Okay, so just change the text color, so color it will be green. Okay, so now here we'll say okay, product had been added. Okay, or we can show some message that say product has been added. Okay, now how it will show जैसे कि हमारा इस सक्सेस का वैल्यू इनिशियली ट्रू है. इफ इट इज ट्रू ना तो हमें एक सक्सेस रिस्पॉन्स इस तरह देखने को मिलेगा, प्रोडक्ट हैज बीन एडेड. ओके, बट यदि हमें कोई एरर मिल रहा है तो उस केस के लिए भी हम एक एरर मैसेज शो करेंगे. ओके, so for that I will copy this line और यहाँ पर पेस्ट करेंगे. Now instead of using each success we'll use each error. Okay, text color will be red. Okay, and here we'll show the message, let's say failed to add product. Now let's save it. Okay. And if I want to show you how it will look like, just change this is error to true, and now you can see we will get this message failed to add product. Okay. So now let's create our submit logic. Okay, now we have come to our main point. Like, as we have created our form, okay, and we have handled this step also. Okay. तो नाउ नेक्स्ट स्टेप में हम देखेंगे कैसे अपने एपीआई को हम सबमिट कर सकते हैं। ओके, लाइक हम कैसे सबमिट बटन पर क्लिक करने पर पोस्ट रिक्वेस्ट को रेज करेंगे। ओके, सो फॉर दैट फर्स्ट वी नीड एन एपीआई जो मैंने ऑलरेडी कॉपी करके रखा है, इफ यू रिमेंबर। तो यहाँ पर हम अपने एपीआई को पेस्ट करते हैं। वन सेकंड गाइस। तो एपीआई यूआरएल को यहाँ पेस्ट करते हैं, विच इज https://packstoreapi.com/product. Okay, now let's discuss the method number one. Method one, okay, using page. Okay, so how we can make a post by using page method. So first, for that we need to create a function. Okay, so function handle submit, it will also take an event. Okay, so now here first thing which we'll do, will prevent this default behavior of this form. So event dot prevent default. Okay, like this. Let's save it. Okay, now let's write, since we are going to make a post request. Okay, so for that we'll use try catch block. Okay, and here you can write a validation also. Let's say if there's no title and this, let's say, price. Here we need to use like this form data dot price. Okay, and form data dot title. Here we write a validation. Okay, so validation is यदि हमारा price title. Okay, so if we have, let's say, title, okay, and if we don't have this, say, price, so obviously our this condition will return a false value. Okay, and if it's false, then negation operator will convert into a true. And सिंपल है कि यदि हमारा प्रोडक्ट टाइटल और या प्रोडक्ट प्राइस में से कोई भी एक मिसिंग है या दोनों मिसिंग है तो हमारा फॉर्म सबमिट नहीं होगा। ओके, एंड आल्सो आई थिंक वी हैव टू द रिक्वायर्ड एट्रीब्यूट। हियर यू कैन सी, जो हमें दोनों फील्ड को मेक श्योर करेगा कि हमारा प्रोडक्ट टाइटल और प्रोडक्ट प्राइस दोनों फील्ड में डाटा प्रेजेंट है, तभी ये फॉर्म हमारा सबमिट होगा। ओके, and also it also better to handle this edge cases like this. So now here just write our post method. So but before writing a post method, what I want to update our each state is loading state to true, that is loading to. Okay, so now let's write our API call. So here we write const response, it will be await page. Okay, we'll use a page method, and since we are using await keyword, तो हमें उसके लिए अपने फंक्शन को asynchronous बनाना होगा। Here we like async. Okay, now let's see how we can make a post request. So for page, first thing it will take your URL. So here I will pass my API URL. Okay, like this variable contains our API URL, if you notice. Okay, now we need to pass our configuration. First thing, it will take a method. Okay, so what method we are going to make? We are going to make a post method request. So method will be post, then you need pass header. So header will be, let's say, content type. Okay, it will be application/JSON. Okay, then we can pass our body. Okay, so body, inside body will pass our payload, but when we are using our fetch method, we need to pass as a JSON, string format. So for that we do JSON dot stringify, and we'll pass our form data. Okay, now let's console our response first. Okay, so console dot log the response. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, here we can't use this semicolon. Okay, let's save it, and now let's open our terminal, okay, to see if everything is correct or not. Clear it, refresh our page, and I think there is no error. So we can fill our form. Let's say new product. Okay, and price is $19.99. If I click on submit, okay, so it's making a, let's say, submit, because we have created this handle submit function, but हमने इसे कॉल नहीं किया है. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to copy this function name, call it as a on submit event to this form. Let's save it, clear it, okay, refresh it, console is clear. Now let's fill our form or submit, click करते हैं. Now let's see, here you can say we have got the response. Okay, success response. Now let's, as you notice, fetch हमें क्या करता है, as a promise return करता है first. Okay, then from the promise we need to take the actual data, and how we can take the data. For that we need to pass this response. For that we'll first create a data variable, let's say const data equal to, and then here we'll use await response.json. Okay, now let's remove this console.log, और हम यहाँ पर एक्चुअल डाटा को कंसोल करते हैं. let's say console.log data. Okay, let's save it. Again, let's refresh our website. Okay, fill the form, and let's hit the submit button. Now you can see we have got a data as ID 21, price, and title. If you go to our fake store and if you check the response type, so here you can see we should get the response type as 201, and then the whatever payload will send to this API will return back me. Okay, so here if you notice we are passing our product title and product price. So in response में हमें product title, product price return किया है. That means our API is working. Now let's quickly handle the, let's say, edge cases also. Let's say is loading. So once we have got our data, so here what we will do, set is loading, we will make it as a false. But if anything goes wrong, okay, and also we'll do, let's say, set is success to true. Okay, हमने API को successfully कॉल कर लिया है. And inside catch block we'll do, let's say, let's remove the set is loading from this try block. Inside catch block we'll use set is error, क्योंकि यदि API कॉल करने में कुछ यदि error आता है तो हमें catch block में रिसीव होता है. So for that we'll use if there is any error, so we'll set this is error state to true. Okay, and we'll create a finally block. Okay, and where we'll change our set is loading to false. Okay, so now whatever the case, okay, यदि हमारा API सक्सेसफुली कॉल हुआ है या फेल हुआ है, okay, both केस में अपने is loading को डिजेबल करेंगे. Okay, so here we want to change something, just change the label. So when is loading is true, okay, then we'll show this label, let's say submitting but if it is false, then we'll show submit. Okay, and also we'll pass our disable attribute. Okay, so one is loading is true, our let's say button will be disabled. Okay, so now let's quickly test it again. So if I enter the product title and price और हम submit button पर click करते हैं, now it's submitting and then we have got the success response as product has been added. Okay, and also we want to clear this field. Okay, so after getting data, what we'll do, Windows set form data. Okay, so title as empty and price as empty. So let's save it. Now let's again submit this for submitting, and now you can see here we have seen the, also we can see the label successfully. Once our API got success, we also can see the success response like product has been added and the product title and product price field getting empty also. That means हमारा form भी clear हो रहा है. So our API call is completed. So here you can see okay, how we can make a post request by using fetch method. Okay, so here it's pretty simple. You can see here how we can pass the structure. So here we need to first pass to fetch. We need to first pass API URL. So whatever the URL you have, you can pass here, and then the configuration like what will be the method, what will be the content type of headers, or what will be the headers parameter, and then lastly we can pass our request body into the body parameter. Okay, just make sure guys कि fetch जो आपका पेलोड रहता है वो हमेशा स्ट्रिंग फॉर्मेट में लेता है. सो इफ यू वांट टू पास एनी ऑब्जेक्ट तो उसको आपको json.stringify से स्ट्रिंग में कन्वर्ट करना होगा. And also fetch always return let's say promise. So to handle this promise or to pass the data, so whatever data we'll get from the promise we can use like this. Okay, let's say await response.json. Okay, so now we have seen the method one. Now it's time to see the how we can make a post request by using Axios. Okay, so Axios यह एक तरह से npm पैकेज है जिसका यूज हम http से रिक्वेस्ट को ट्रिगर करने के लिए करते हैं. Okay, it's like it gives some advantage, like it's similar to fetch but it gives some advantage. Okay, of using Axios. We'll see how what are the advantages. First, let's install our dependency. Okay, we'll install Axios. Okay, so our Axios library has been installed. Let's minimize it. And now what I will do, first I will copy this handle submit function, Control C, and then I will comment it. Okay, in here we'll create, let's say, method number 2 using Axios. Okay, now let's pass our method here. Let's refresh it. I think everything is good and we are not getting any error. Okay, now we'll just modify some part of this handle submit because most of the logic जो होगा वो सेम होगा. Just कुछ पार्ट पर जहाँ पर हमने fetch यूज किया उसे हम रिप्लेस करेंगे Axios से. Okay, but before using Axios we need to import that Axios into our application. For that we'll write import Axios from Axios. Okay, now let's go to the here. Now our event at default will remain same, our validation will be also remain same. Okay, then once before, so when we start our API call, we'll change our set is loading to true. Then here we'll just change this logic. Let's say this logic are going to change. Okay, so now let's delete this, and here we'll write, let's say, const response equal to await, okay, Axios, and then if you are making a post request, so we need to write, let's say, Axios dot post like this. Okay, so whatever request if you want to trigger, let's say you want to trigger post or put, okay, you can call our API method as like this. Okay, but for this live stream we are making a post request. We'll use Axios post. Okay, so it needs some couple of parameters. So first argument which is take with your API URL, and then in the second it will take your for data. Okay, whatever the payload you are want to say send to this API, तो payload आप यहाँ पर send कर सकते हैं like this. So just notice one thing, जैसे कि when we are using fetch, okay, we need to, for making a post request we need to pass these many arguments. Okay, but when we are using post we don't need to pass let's say the method post headers and body को हमें जैसे अपने payload को stringify करके send करना. All the thing Axios will do it for ourselves. Okay, so we don't need to do this. हमें सिर्फ Axios के बताना है कि Axios we are making a post request by using Axios.post, and then in the parameter like let's say these are the your API URL. Okay, and these are the payload which we want to send to this API. Okay, so it's pretty simple. You can see just one line of code. Okay, and now if we want to control our response, so you can write response dot data. Okay, now let's see if I clear our form, so refresh our application. Okay, fill the form, new product title, and now let's hit the submit button. Okay, now you can see in the response we have got the same response as we are getting from the, let's say, by using fetch method. Okay, just a little optimize. There we need to write these many lines of code. Okay, and also we need to parse our response also, but here we don't need to do anything. Okay, just one line of code. So this advantage we'll get from when we are using Axios library. Okay, so now also just quickly test our endpoint, let's say error test. So if our API endpoint is not valid or due to some reason, okay, our form is not submitted, so now we'll get this fail to add product. Okay, and here also we want to make sure to reset our form. So let's say set is success to false and set is error to false. Okay, let's save it. Now let's refresh again. Okay, now fill our form, new product, submit it. Now you can say fail to add product. Now if I make our API call correctly, now again if I submit, you can say I got product has been added. Okay, so now everything is working. Now let's see the method number 3, okay, which is by using Axios or TanStack React Query. TanStack React Query. Okay, so here I just want to let's say highlight some pointers. So let's say TanStack के थ्रू हम API को लाइक डायरेक्टली कॉल नहीं करते हैं, लाइक ये हमें API कॉल करने पर कुछ एडवांटेज जैसे ऑप्टिमाइज फीचर प्रोवाइड करता है, लाइक ऑटो कैशिंग, ओके, एंड हैंडल द इज लोडिंग इज एरर और इज सक्सेस स्टेट. Okay, so everything we can handle by using TanStack, so we don't need to, when we are using let's say React query, we don't need to handle these all thing explicitly. Okay, because हम TanStack हमें सारा जो स्टेट हैंडल फीचर है वो प्रोवाइड करता है. ओके, एंड आल्सो along with this feature, it also provides auto pacing and much more features, which you can see by going to their official documentation page. Okay, so now what I will do, I will quickly install TanStack Query into our application. So TanStack React Query, we want to install it. Okay. Okay, so library installed हो चुका है. Now what we'll do, first of all we'll go to our app.js file, because wherever we want to let's say use TanStack React Query, okay, हमें क्या करना होगा, हमें अपने एप्लीकेशन को उनके क्लाइंट प्रोवाइडर के साथ रैप करना होता है. ओके, सो हम प्रोडक्ट फॉर्म के अंदर TanStack क्वेरी को परफॉर्म करना चाहते हैं, रिएक्ट क्वेरी का यूज़ करना है, तो हमें इस फॉर्म प्रोडक्ट फॉर्म को क्वेरी प्रोवाइडर के साथ रैप करना होगा. ओके, आई होप यू आर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट. ओके, so for that first what we need to, we need to import some module from React TanStack Query. And what are the module? Okay, we need query client, and then we need query client provider. Okay, first of all we need to create a client. We can create client equal to new query client like this. Okay, and then instead of this div, okay, we can pass our query client provider. So we will wrap our product file with this query client provider, and now it will take a client prop. So whatever client we have created, we can pass it here. Okay, so the setup is completed. So like this is the, let's say, in मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. तो जब भी आप रिएक्ट क्वेरी का यूज करें तो उसके लिए हमें क्या करना होगा, तो फिर हमें क्लाइंट क्रिएट करना होगा, जो कि हमें TanStack के थ्रू ही इम्पोर्ट कर सकते हैं, क्वेरी क्लाइंट. क्वेरी क्लाइंट से हम क्लाइंट क्रिएट करेंगे, एंड देन अपने जो एप्लीकेशन है उसको क्वेरी क्लाइंट प्रोवाइडर से रैप करके जो भी क्लाइंट हमने क्रिएट किया उसको एज अ ड्राफ्ट सेंड करेंगे. ओके, सिस्टम. ओके, सो नाउ we can able to use the, let's say, TanStack React Query. Because of that, again we need to import the module. So import from TanStack React Query. Okay, and from React Query we'll use mutation. Okay, so we can use the useMutation hook from the React Query. So for that, again let's comment this code. Okay, now here first I will create again a new function for this under submit, so that error so the under submit it will take an event. Okay, and first thing we'll do event dot prevent default. Okay, so now let's see how we can run. सबसे पहले हम एक मेथड क्रिएट करेंगे. Okay, for add product, so we'll use add product method. Okay, so let's create this method with the const add product. Okay, it will take a new product as an argument. Okay, and what it will do. Okay, okay, so it will do, let's say, new product. Here we can write, let's say, const response equal to await Axios dot post. Okay, and we can pass our API URL here, and then the whatever data is the payload you can pass here for data. Now what is doing, what this method is doing, so for in order to use our TanStack, okay, and I think we need to make this function asynchronous. So let's save it. Now I think there is no error. Okay. So now what we are discussing, so in order to use TanStack React Query, okay, so like हमें क्या करना होगा, जो भी हमारा API कॉल लॉजिक है सपोज हम डायरेक्टली TanStack के थ्रू कोई एपीआई को कॉल नहीं करते, ये हमें कुछ एपीआई को हैंडल करने पर कुछ बेटर ऑप्टिमाइजेशन प्रोवाइड करता है। इसके बारे में हमने अलग से अर्लियर डिस्कस किया था। तो फॉर दैट वी नीड दिस फंक्शन ऐड प्रोडक्ट, वी विल क्रिएट अ न्यू फंक्शन जिसका पर्पज़ है कि हम एपीआई कॉल करेगा और ये हमें जो भी रिस्पॉन्स में मिलेगा डाटा वो हमें रिटर्न करेगा। ओके, तो जस्ट सिंपल ऐड प्रोडक्ट मेथड। Now let's see how we can use this use mutation hook. Here we can use mutation. Okay. Now this use mutation will take some, you can see some configuration. Now first it will take let's say handle function. Okay, let's see the response. Okay, data. Okay, so for that again we can go to our TanStack.com. Okay, let's see the what type of payload it will take. So let's just go to TanStack Query, go to example. Okay, and here you can see the mutation. Okay, you can see the mutation concept, and here you can see how we can call our API call. So we can pass use mutation, and then we need to pass our mutation function. Okay, so here we can pass our mutation function like this, and the value will be add product. Okay, so now as a function we can call this add product as a mutation function. Then it will take, we can handle this on success part. On success it will be a target, so we can use like this. Okay, so on success what we want to do, we want to make sure let's just set is, so I think we don't need set is on success. We can just console our data here. Let's say console.log. Okay, product has been added. Okay, with this success data, whatever data we'll get, we can console it here. Now let's handle this with the on error case. The on error, okay, we'll return a error like this. We can get our error. Okay, so here we can use as a console dot error. Okay, and we can pass our error. Okay, so let's say failed to add product. It's just a console message which we are doing, and we can print our error message like this. So let's save it. You can see here how we can handle this. Let's say all the case success or failure case. If you go down here, you can say in this way we can handle everything. Okay, so on success and on error it will, we have mentioned. Now let's take what are the response this use mutation will return. Okay, so now if we go down there, we can see the all the response. Okay, now I will let you go. No guys, I think it's very deep. Now this let's say mutation function, it will return me an object. Okay, so from that again we can use our, let's say, extract or mutate function. Then it will take each loading. Okay, then each success and each error. So these are the property it will return me. And now we need to, let's say, we can copy our, because we have used is loading twice, because identifier is loading already been declared है. तो हम क्या करेंगे, we can comment all these three state, because we don't need this state, we only need this form data. Okay, and then is loading an is error state. So now what we can do, we can copy this mutate function from here and we can call into our handle submit function. So let's say mutate, and it will, we need to pass our payload here. So payload will be, let's say, form data. Let's save it. Okay, now let's reload our application and see if we have any error or not. Okay, just give me a second, guys. Okay, so you can see our API successfully run our application. Let's refresh once again to see if there is any error or not. The console has been clear. It's compiling our application. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we don't have any error. Now let's make a post request. So for that I will fill out. Nothing is happening. Yes, we have got, let's say, product has been added and we have got the data as a response. Let's submit again. Okay, now we have got the data, but here you can see I think it's not changing to submitting. Okay, let's say we can test it by appending our debugger, because okay, we are using TanStack and TanStack में कुछ optimize data, let's say it's use auto cases. So if we are getting similar kind of response, okay, so instead of making the actual code, it cache the response. That's why making too fast and we are not able to sync. So what we can do, we can go to our network tab. Okay, and we can implement throttling here. Okay, let's say 3G. Now if I hit this submit button, okay, now I think state is not getting changed. Let's say why it's not getting changed. Okay, so in is loading, we are taking it. Okay, so now let's go to the query. I think mutation will give me is a loading argument also. Okay, so there is my mistake, guys. Instead of each loading, it will take each pending. Okay, it will return me each pending state. Okay, here just one thing, so we can rename it. Let's say each loading. Okay, so now I think we can see our response. So let's refresh our application. The console has been clear. It's compiling. Okay, now let's add a product hour. So we'll click on this add product, will fill our product data, and now if we make submit, now you can see it's changing state to submitting. And then once we have got a response from API, we have got the label also, product has been added. Okay, so in this way, let's remove our throttling also, so that our application should work fast. Okay, no throttling. Let's close our insert menu. Now let's see. Okay, API refresh again. Okay. Now if I fill our product, the new product, hit the submit button, state is getting changed to submitting, and then we have got a response. So now our, let's say कि हमने तीनों मेथड से या तीन वे से अपने एक पोस्ट मेथड को ट्रिगर किया कर. Okay, we have seen the response, and also we have seen how we can handle all the edge cases. Okay, so like this is the way how we can make a, let's say, API call by using TanStack React Query. तो आई होप गाइस आपको आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम पसंद आया होगा और आपको कुछ नया सीखने को मिला होगा. तो आपको वीडियो में जो भी आपको अच्छा लगा, जो भी पार्ट आपको अच्छा लगा, वो मुझे कमेंट कर सकते हैं. ओके, एंड ऑल्सो यू कैन मेंशन, यदि आपको कुछ नया टॉपिक पर वीडियो चाहिए या आपके पास कोई क्वेरी है, यू कैन ऑल्सो मैसेज मी इन द कमेंट बॉक्स। ओके गाइस, एंड वन मोर थिंग, यदि आपको यह लाइव स्ट्रीम पसंद आई हो तो प्लीज़ मेक श्योर टू लाइक दिस लाइव स्ट्रीम, और यदि आप मेरे चैनल पर नए हैं प्लीज़ मेक श्योर टू सब्सक्राइब माई चैनल एज वेल। ओके, ऐसे ही डेवलपमेंट से रिलेटेड कंटेंट क्रिएट करता रहता हूँ। ओके, जस्ट